Welcome to Learning to Build with Bricklink Studio 2.0, the Toolbox series brought to you by Rise Robotics. Hey everybody, Lego Man Dan here. Before I get started on today's video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. This is the best way for us to grow our channel. Please like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Bricklink Studio 2.0 again. We're going to be going ahead and building a popcorn stand today, something a little bit fun. Again, you can get really complicated with your builds, but for this build, I want to keep you guys with nice, simple builds, give you a way to see how the application works, and then you can go build some pretty amazing stuff. If we went in and built some of the bigger detailed builds that you can do in this, it could take these videos hours, and I don't want you guys to have to sit here and watch me wade through finding 750 parts. These little builds that we're going to do give you a great way to just understand how the software is built, and then you can create your own awesome builds, instructions, and share them with your friends. Let's get right into it with our popcorn stands. Today we're going to again be using a lot of different bricks. We're going to be searching them up, and I'm going to go ahead and search them up by the numbers, and I'll explain what they are. So again, you come over here, you've got all of your shapes you can select, search through if you're not quite sure what you're looking for, which I do all the time. But in this case, I know exactly the numbers I need for today. So we're going to go in 3795. We're going to be grabbing a 2x6 brick, and my popcorn stand is going to be a fun shade of reds and yellows. So again, I'm going to go over here to the color palette and then click on red and click on red. You got to remember to make sure before you select the color, you do select the parts. And again, when we're building something, we can copy and paste just like we would in a regular computer program. Click on the brick, hold your control button down, click C, click V, you create a second one. In this case, I actually want them to be one right on top of the other. All right, now that we've got the basis of our popcorn stand pretty well built, we're going to go ahead and add a few more pieces, get the next layer of that stand going. So now we're going to go ahead and add the handle to our popcorn cart. That is part number 48336. So a little 2x2, and we'll move it over there. We'll rotate it to the right direction. Remember, use that little arrow key to rotate to the right direction. And then again, I want to keep this as red. This time I need a 2x4 plate. So I'm just going to type in 2x4 plate, just show you that you guys can search by that. Scroll down a little bit till I get to the plates, add that one in, and then I need a 2x1 plate to finish this off. So again, just go in, change to 2x1 plate, scroll down, rotate using the arrow keys on my keyboard, and then I also need to make sure these are both red, so everything finishes off as red. If you followed in the last video, I walked you through how to create steps, and this matters if you're going to create an instruction book. Now I could just build everything here, and if you look over here where it says steps, I've got all my pieces in one step. Now I could do that, but it does get a little hard to tell what's underneath. So I'm going to add a second step for these next three pieces. Each layer when you build should have its own sort of what that layer is. Again, I did 2x6s, so I did them both together, but I want this next layer to be clear so it's nice and easy for everybody to see as you're going up what layers should be what. One of the things I absolutely love about Bricklink is I can look at my build in 3 dimensions. So as you can see right here, I can look underneath, I can look above, all depending on what I'm going to do. In this case, I want to add some wheels. So I'm actually going to flip this upside down so I can add my 2 wheel plates. And I'm going to use 2 different ones because I want the popcorn stand to have a little bit of a different look from the front to the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is go 4600, which is the modified wheel plate. Again, rotate that in. I want that to be black, so I'll go over to my color palette, select black. And then I want my wheels for my other side to be a slightly different design. So I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to grab 2655, which is the round plate wheel, the 2x2. Again, I'm going to rotate it so it's the right size. I'm going to leave it in the gray like that. So it looks pretty cool. And again, as I move my build, once I go back over here, I can take my whole build, move it, reset it, and everything's above. Now you can see it looks a little off, and that's okay because we're going to add some wheels here, and that's going to make it work the way we want. So let's add the wheels on the back, which are the 2496 wheel, and I will go down. That's these guys right here, and they're not facing the right way, so we change their angle, put them under, and then just so they stand out, I'm going to make them black. And then I want to go add some bigger wheels to the front. So that's going to be the 24314 wheels, the translucent ones, and you can see they go right on there. I'm going to Control C, Control V, and add them to both sides. Okay, and we can make these whatever colors we want. I'm going to go up. I want to see if I can do, what's kind of neat is I can go through all these colors, and then as I scroll down, I can start to get, there's ways to do different types of colors. So see, I can do translucent, so I can do translucent clear. And again, we've got that in our palette, so there we go. There's two kind of translucent clear wheels, and this kind of sets the station for our cart, makes our cart look kind of cool, a little bit different. But again, as you notice over here, we didn't do the steps again, so I'm going to go ahead and add step 3, do my modified plates, and then step 4 is going to be all of my wheels. And again, we had 2 bigger wheels in the front, 2 bigger wheels in the back. The one thing I just noticed as I was kind of scrolling is my wheels here are a little off. So they're not quite the same height. And that's okay. That's an easy thing to fix. I could go with bigger wheels. Instead, what I'm going to do is just add a 2x2 plate to this. And we'll put that up here when we did this. And what I just need to do, and you don't have to like tear everything apart. You just have to kind of reset it. Most important thing is you want to make sure, let's look at that from underneath. You want to make sure that everything ends up in the right space when you put it back. And most importantly, it's in the same instructions. And now you can see, I'll zoom in. Now you can see that my wheels are more level, but I do need to make sure that 2x2 plate gets up into the right spot. It hit everything. I'll have it show. Now the cart looks to be the correct height. And I think on this popcorn stand, I not only want to sell popcorn, I want to sell a little bit of some food, some fun, yummy drinks and stuff like that too. I'm going to go in and add some drinks that I can sell. 3062 gives me a regular sort of cylinder shape that I can add some stuff to. Again, I'm going to go over here and add my step because I want these to be on their own. And we can kind of do these in any colors we want. I'm going to do mine in green. And let's do this one in blue. Just kind of make it a little more fun. Again, the more colorful you can make stuff, the better. And what's really nice about this build is it doesn't matter what the color of the bricks are. When you go digging into your Legos, if you only have yellow and red cylinders, do that as well. It doesn't really matter. And then want to go ahead and put some caps on those sodas. So 98138 will give us the little 1x1 round. We'll put one on the top of each of those, and we'll make those black. So again, they do stand out a little bit. They're in my step 5 here, and then before I go on, I'm going to add step 6. And I'm going to add a couple of 1x1 bricks because I actually want to do some salt and pepper shakers. Or I guess some salt and butter shakers, because I guess it's popcorn. Who wants to put pepper on popcorn, right? So we'll do a couple of those. I'm going to make one red. I'm going to make one white. Oh, I made that clear. So you see, I made that kind of the translucent. I don't want that. I want it to be white. But to make it look right, I want to make sure that I have tops that are the opposite. So 3707 should give me the 1x1 tile. I'll add 2 of those. Again, I can drag them over. I can Control C, Control V. And then the red shaker is going to have a white top. And the white shaker is going to have a red top. Just kind of make that look a little bit more fun. Nice thing about Legos is Legos give you a lot of different parts to work in a lot of different ways. And you don't always have to use the same things as they're intended to be. So like we're actually going to go grab one of the old Lego windshields, 4594. And I'm going to use it as the screen for my popcorn cart. And I'm going to make it translucent so we can see through it. And that lets us kind of give us a nice little cart so you can stand behind it. People can see the popcorn popping. it really is kind of a lot of fun. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab the holder to keep the popcorn kind of in place, and that is 99780. There we go, and that's going to be kind of the back holder. It's going to hold our popcorn, and it's also going to hold the back of our popcorn popping machine. So what's really cool about this is, again, you can use different pieces for different things. We're actually going to use an ice cream block to emulate the popcorn. So we'll use that little ice cream scoops. We'll drop one in there. Again, I'll Control C, Control V, put another one in there, and obviously it's popcorn, so we really want it to be yellow. So go in and change that, make that yellow. And then as the popcorn's popping, you can see kind of really nice. It looks like there's a bunch of popcorn in there. And there's a few other ways you could do this. This is just kind of a fun way that I think it is to do it. Let's add the back to our popcorn so we don't have any popcorn falling out of our popcorn machine. We'll grab a 2x4 flat. That's part number 2431. We will actually make it yellow, so it kind of goes more with the fun. And then I'm going to use my arrow keys to rotate it so it's standing up. Remember, you can use your arrow keys to rotate around on your keyboard depending on which way you might need your part to face. So we'll add that in. Here we go, gives us a nice little block. And the last part we're going to do here is we got to put the roof on. We need a kind of a fun design for the roof. So we're going to add the roof on here. I'm going to grab the whole thing and just kind of center it a little bit more. There we go. And zoom in, and then we'll start working on the roof. All right, so I want to make sure I can do the roof all the way around. So right here, I can, as you see, I only have certain bricks. I wouldn't have anything that's over the popcorn. Everything would just kind of fall in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another 2x4 brick. That's part number 3020. We'll grab another one of those, drag that out. But again, to keep our aesthetics, I'm going to make that red. Now, I want to get a little bit creative with this next part, so I'm actually going to use some of these angled pieces, and I want to get it set up so I can put a whole bunch of little red and white kind of all the way around, make it look kind of fun. So the part I want to grab here is 99781. It's the little bracket, turn it that way, and then I'm just going to Control C, Control V. I'm going to do that 4 times or 3 more times. Use my arrow keys again to rotate around, Control C, Control V, and then I've got the top. But obviously, again, I want to keep the aesthetics of my cart, so we'll go red, 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 and red. And again, if you notice over here, haven't really done my steps like I keep telling you guys you should. So I'm going to add a couple of new steps in, and I'm going to move stuff down to get it into the right spots. Because steps, again, are very important if you are going to be building instructions for your book. Let's go ahead, before I forget, make that red. All right, and then we'll do the plate underneath as a step, and we'll add the 1x4 flat tile to that, and then our bracket here, which I'm actually going to turn white. Because I got if you notice there was an exclamation there, the exclamation means that that color doesn't exist for that part. And we'll do the bracket and the ice cream scoops in step 7. And let's see, step 6 should be, yep. And we'll add one more step. And again, what's neat is if you missed a step, see how I can just drag this right up. We'll go right in before the ice cream scoops and add our windscreen. So we've got our salt and our butter shakers over here. We've got our windscreen. Then we come down, ice cream scoop, bracket, add it back in everything else, put our things on, and then let's add the next step. For the top of the design, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. I'm going to use 1x2 plates, part number 3069, and I'm going to bring those out. Now, I'm actually going to put them on this way. And you'll see in a second, I'm going to Control C and Control V this. You'll see why I'm going to do it this way in a second. I happen to like this look, but you may want to go a different way. And I want to stagger the color to kind of match this red and white. So we're going to go red, red, white, white. Now, you could have turned them the other way. Let me just move these for a second. You could have rotated them, gone red, and white that way. There's no wrong way to do this. This just happened to be how I like to do it. So you do the aesthetics that match the kind of way you want your build to be. Okay. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to add another step, and I'm going to do something a little different this time. We're going to add some side decoration to this, but I'm going to do it in 2 separate steps. And I'm going to do this for a reason. If you notice when you do a Lego build, when they're building on the left side or the right side, typically the instruction piece has you rotate the actual model and do it. I'm going to show you in the instructions how we do that. So let's go ahead and add in our specialty pieces here. This is going to be part number 24246. Okay, it's just a little round, half circle. Again, it's not facing the right way, so I'm going to go fix that and then put those in there. And then we'll, again, Control C, Control V, Control V, get the last one in there. And again, with these, I want to do the same thing. I'm going to change the colors, red, and then I want them to be white. Now, I could have done all of these in one step, but I want to make sure, again, when I go to do my instructions, that I have this done in 2 separate steps. You're looking at the left side and the right side. I might change some of that for the translucent wheels down here, but we'll take a look when we go into the instructions and just kind of see how that looks. So we'll do our Control V's again. We'll do a Control C, Control V, so it's facing the right way. And you guys don't have to keep hearing me say that over and over again. Let's see, there we go. And we got our whites in there, so now we're all set. So there's our popcorn stand all totally built. Let's go to our instructions and see how everything looks. So here we are in our instructions. And again, as we did in the last video, there are ways to change the size of these, make them bigger, adjust them. But if you look, it looks pretty good. And you want to, when you're building instructions, try to keep your instructions as consistent. So always having them facing the same way as much as possible. I talked about when we did the wheels, should I rotate for that second wheel to create a step? And if you look here, it actually looks pretty good. You can kind of tell where the wheel is supposed to go. So that's pretty easy. Come down through the steps, see where everything goes step by step. It runs pretty smooth. We'll get all the way down here. Here is our steps. There's our roof. And then we've got our pieces here where we're going to put our little overhangs. And you'll see step 12 looks exactly the same as step 13. But if I go back to step 12, there's no little ends right here. If I go to 13, they're there now, but I can't tell. It looks exactly identical. So what I need to do is I need to rotate the image for this one. So step 12 is fine. Got it going right there. Got the right side facing. But for step 13, I want to fix that. So I'm going to click on step 13. I'm going to click on the model, and then I'm going to click Change Step View. So right up here in blue, it says Change Step View. I'm going to click on that, and then right now you can see I can flip it upside down. Oh, it fell over. Now, I just flipped it. But I don't want to flip it up and down. I want to flip it left and right. So I'm going to click Rotate. Now you can see this step is in a different direction from this step. So now I got this step. Now I got that step. So it's showing you what you need to do on both sides. There's also a little item you want to add. You'll notice this in your Lego instructions. Here where it says Insert, I can put in a flip. This little symbol tells the user, flip the model around. If they couldn't figure it out just by looking at it, that little symbol does it. And if you notice, Lego instructions do not have words. Everything they do is with an arrow or like this, a rotating flip symbol. Last thing we're going to do again, we're going to go over here. We're going to insert a page. We're going to go over here to insert, and we're going to add our bill of materials. All those parts that I told you needed and all the numbers, everything is right here on the screen for you. So if you want to pull those, you can go ahead and pull them. You can order them from Bricklink or go find them in your own Legos. Hope you guys had a great time building the popcorn stand. We've got lots of other Bricklink builds coming for you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Comment below if there is something you would like to see us add to the series. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can keep up on all our latest coding and robotics videos.